Hello and welcome to another video today where we're going to be looking at running and how people try to use running to fix lower limb injuries, and I'm going to discuss why this is a bad idea. So this is like a follow-up to our two other videos that we released this week where we discussed if cycling's good for knee pain and is swimming good for making back pain go away. So things that are often posed as questions to me. So while both these activities may assist in some way, neither of them are the solution to the real problem of that you have pain. All right. But what about running? So, well, running's a little bit different to the last two because there's a high degree of impact, which we're going to discuss in a second. But pretty much all runners, whether you're an elite professional or you just run for fun or a bit of weight loss, nearly every single person will have experienced running a frustration of injury at some point, just because the stress that's placed on the joints from this activity is immense. So I'm a keen runner myself. I've had many injuries, and it can be frustrating when they just seem to come out of nowhere. As opposed to cycling and swimming, you can still get things from swimming. Shoulder injuries are very common in swimming for obvious reasons, and cycling obviously unique because it's so repetitive. But neither of them have the impact stresses that running places on the body. So that's why you can cycle for hours, but you struggle to run for that time. You just be annihilated. So the stresses and the strains of our joints trying to absorb the shock of gravity, just compressing all the joints and in every direction. Even though you're running in a straight line, these joints are all sort of twisting and rotating around each other. So there's a lot of shearing forces, compression, even through the spine. So there's so many things that are a potential problem from this activity. All right. So now the big problem with trying to use running to get yourself out of trouble which is crazy. You must understand that running and even cycling and swimming, all of these things are fitness methods. That they're not health problems. All right. So you don't confuse them with health, because they're not. Only healthy people can do them well. You can't use them to get out of a bad situation. All right. So this is the equivalent of trying to put a square piece in a round hole. You're just never going to work. You're just going to create more problems. All right. So the worst thing you can ever do is try to run in pain. All right. And but why do runners do this? And I cannot tell you how many people in the last year I've spoken to that had all types of knee problems, back pain problems, hip problems, feet problems, and I give them programs to do, and without me knowing it, they say, I went for a run the other day and it still hurts. I said, why are you even running? Why are you running? You can't even do a squat. Why are you doing that? This is just crazy. And so I want to sort of explore the reasons why they do this. The biggest thing is addiction. It's very much like they're addicted to the feeling and the endorphin rush, and it's almost like a drug addiction. They just, even though it's not good for them, they can't stop. They just want to keep doing it. So that's probably the biggest thing that I find with runners. Other people think that losing weight, it's all about that they've got to lose weight. If they lose the weight, then their knee pain will go away. That's not going to happen at all. I know plenty of skinny people that have all types of problems. So, all right, so that's just craziness. Worried they're going to put on weight if they stop running. Well, they may in fact do that if they continue to eat the way they're eating, because it's really going to come down to food. If you're trying to use running for weight loss, then that's another stupid thing again, because that's not a good strategy. All right, so you have to. It's a lot more things to losing weight than just running yourself out of trouble. I think running is strength training for the legs, while it does have some degree of strength, it's not a strength in any way, because your body's trying to become efficient at it, and there'll be certain things that'll get worked hard, and there'll be certain things that are being missed out. So, and if you've got problems happening, you can safely assume that running's not strengthening it; it's actually making it worse. So you have to sort of stop and identify where that is and break it down. All right, so all of these things. So running you always come back. Running is a fitness solution. When you have injury and pain, you have a health problem. You can't use this to solve that ever. All right. So what are the things you need to do? Well, first thing you need to do is reduce the inflammation. It sounds pretty simple, and it is, but it's amazing how many runners just sort of neglect this. They just and the very first thing you must do is the thing that's aggravating it, which is stop running. So using recovery methods, icing it in the initial stages, massage, resting it, obviously elevation, stretching, all these things that are nice, getting good sleep, eating, good food, drinking water, stuff like that. The other thing you need to do is get an assessment. A lot of runners self-diagnose themselves, in running forums and talking to other runners. That's again could lead them down the track of trying to treat something that's not really what it is, just because you didn't actually get a proper assessment from a health professional. Once the pain is gone, so say you've implemented your inflammation and it's gone, does not mean you're ready to run again. All right, this is where the runners make a big mistake. They go straight back to what they were doing, thinking it's all good to go, the pain's gone, but the pain is that's only step one of many. You've got to find out why you had the pain in the first place, and you'll need to sort of go through an assessment to find out where that is. So, trying to work out, was there a lack of mobility somewhere? Usually the ankle and the hip are the big problems with runners. Is there a stability deficit? Often the feet are a huge problem. The knee will be sort of an area that may lack stability, but it's probably one that's not, you can't really sort of hone in on that. It's these two are the real big problems. They're the one that sort of put the knee in the bad place in the first place. Single leg stance and single leg squat coordination, timing, and obviously strength. So these are all big things. These are all big reasons, and there's going to be a couple others as well, but these are all big reasons that are going to lead you to the problem when you try to move at high speed. So, as I said before, never, ever, ever run in pain. If you do this, this is just plain stupidity. All right, so all you're going to do is basically create a new set of problems. You're going to create more problems as your body learns to compensate around the pain. And you basically, if you do that for long enough, you actually teach yourself how to keep that compensatory motor program. Now you're going to run with a permanent limb. Even if you don't have the pain anymore, you've actually taught yourself how to create a new motor program. It's very much like the equivalent of installing a virus into someone's computer, and it'll begin to wreak havoc on the entire system. All right, so I'm going to say it again, you can't solve a health problem with a fitness solution. You have to stop running. You just can't keep doing this. This is just not good. Your body will try to avoid the pain, and it'll start to change things. And this is where like back problems start to originate from a knee problem, and even feet problem, and all sorts of other stuff. And the simple fact is you won't run very well anyway, so it's not great to run in pain. So the things you must be able to do before you want to get back to running is you must be able to do a single leg squat. If you can't do a single leg squat, you can't run, because really running is a series of single leg squats. So if your single leg squats look like this, then you try to run. Like that's how your body's learned. That's how the only thing your body has to learn how to stabilize itself in the stance phase, while the other leg's swinging through. So if you're just standing on the spot and your squat looks like this, what do you think it's going to look at like when you're running at high speed? It's going to be 10 times worse, and there's going to be impact from it. So where's that shock going? Where's all that stress being absorbed? Because it's not being absorbed in muscles here. This is being absorbed into some joints. Knee's going to be a huge problem here, as is probably the hip, even the ankle. So if you can't do a good single leg squat with good alignment and good timing, and being able to do it with load and possibly even at speed, like with jumping, then you're not really in a good position to start running. And this is the sort of the things that you start to see. So if one thing goes, they all go. All right, it could come from the other end as well. So you need to learn how to get the timing and the stability and the movement and the coordination of it all. You'll need to look at lunge stance, because lunge stance is also a big key one that's mimicking the running action to some degree. And this is where mobility of hips and ankles and everything sort of working at once is being demanded of you. And this is where you need to learn how to strengthen. And running is not strengthening. You need to apply load, and having someone to help you out, and using little tools like we do here to sort of assist you in getting it right. Once you've sort of got your strength and your skill and then your strength, then you need to learn how to absorb the impact in a controlled environment before you just go and start running. This is where like using plyometric drills and some of these are quite advanced, especially if you play sports. This is an absolute essential. This is not maybe I'll do it. This is you have to do this before you go back. These are like part of fitness testing in like professional sporting clubs. So this test here, for example, is like a 4 levels hopping test that's used as a clearance for someone after ACL rehabilitation to see if they're ready to start running and playing sport again. These are the 4 things they must be able to do as hopping tests to be able to pass. Now, if they don't pass them, they don't play. All right. So really, any runner should be sort of doing these same things, whether you had an ACL problem or not, because it's really going to absorb into all of the joints in one go. All right. So if you do well, the good news is if you get good at these, you actually make yourself faster as well. So regardless of the fact you're preventing injury, you're becoming a better runner. Lastly, you need to evaluate running technique. So you may have done all the other things really well, but then your running technique just simply sucks. And all you need now is just a bit of time, and you're going to be back to where you started. So you'll need to absorb, someone to help you evaluate stride mechanics and how you're doing it. Get someone who's a really good coach, someone who maybe knows the pose method. That's by far the best method I've found for running and preventing injury. If you get someone to help you with that, and you've done all the other things and you keep doing the other things, you better go back to running, have a lot of fun with it. But if you neglect any of these things, there's always a chance, and there's a very high chance that you're just going to end up in pain. So best exercises, well, there's hundreds, and a lot of the stuff I've shown you here. If you go to our YouTube channel and look in the description underneath the video there, because I'll put some links to give you access to some of these exercises I've just briefly shown you, and you can look at them in more detail. But big comprehensive programs where we cover a lot of the stuff, and even though these are talking about knee injuries, these really relate to foot and hip problems that we see as well, because they're so intimately related to each other. So the ACL program, this is like a PDF book you can download, and there's a 60-minute video that's very similar to this. This just has a little bit more extra stuff specific for ACL rehab. But both of them are great programs that would help any runner prevent a lot of the problems they may have. All right, so you can download, again, look in the description of the video, and you'll be able to get your copies of those that you can download from our website. So summary, can't solve health problems with fitness solutions. Never run in pain. Always get a diagnosis of your injury, don't guess at what it is. Get an assessment of your body to reveal the weaknesses or restrictions that you may have. Then correct the dysfunctions. Learn how to do squats, lunges, and most importantly, the single leg stuff. Develop the strength once you've got the skill. Once you've got the strength, develop the power and the ability to absorb the impact. Always evaluate and improve your running technique, as that should be an ongoing thing. All the professionals do that. And once you've done all those things, you can begin running again. And you will have to probably keep doing these things forever, because there's always going to be something that your body's just not great at doing, and you'll always have to keep working on it. If you do it, then you'll have fun and you can run forever and you'll have no trouble. If you don't, you're going to be in pain. All right, so if you've got any, there's also plenty of other free reports and stuff you can get, but just go to our website for more information. But I hope that sort of shares some light on the fact that running in pain is not a good idea, and you can't use running to get out of pain. All right, that's the main point from this video. If you have questions, go to our website. You can shoot an email to me. And I hope that helps you out. All right, we'll see you on one of our next videos.